beautiful. Out there, Otay Lake?
Yeah, they're all giggling. I suspect that Wes dropped in those ducks quacking, but we'll never know for sure.
Okay, speaking of strange things, our Dr. James Kyle.
Well, speaking of ducks quacking.
No, we didn't use the word quack. No, Dr. Kyle.
I swear, I wasn't even getting close to that.
Close.
That's pretty
All right,
funny,
don't go there.
Coming out of there and he uses the word.
You've got a really bizarre topic. We'll just let you take it out.
Sometimes
medical
truth is stranger than reality. Medical UFOs.
Okay.
Now, in the Medical Mortality Weekly Report, this is a report that comes out of Washington, there was a great story about a high school up in Washington area where a couple of days before, some kids had been playing with a stink bomb a couple of days before. 2 days later, an entire classroom develops symptoms. Runny eyes, sneezing, they felt like they were getting nauseated and vomiting. They took one kid out of the class, another kid out of the class, another kid out of the class, teachers, everybody gets sick in this entire, 80 people in the school get sick, a couple of classrooms. They go back, they check the air, they check everything, nothing wrong. What is it called? It's called mass sociogenic illness. And occasionally this pops up in different parts of the country where a group of people can get sick because they witness someone else get sick. And so it's basically a psychosomatic kind of process. So if you're at a party and everybody's eating the cake and somebody actually says, oh, I feel sick after eating this cake, and it can actually, in certain circumstances, with the right suggestion, it can spread to the entire group, and you have a mass sociogenic illness where everybody will have the symptoms, even though you actually cannot find a pathogen to cause the illness.
Type of hysteria. Hysteria.
It was like mass hysteria. 80 kids, 80 people in a school in the state of Washington who all fell ill at the same time. Absolutely nothing wrong with any of them.
We could probably name scores of times, things that you've covered, stories where there was some kind of minor thing, but everyone had the complications. Now, this is a legitimate medical term. I had no idea that was a legit...
It's called mass sociogenic illness, and it does happen. This is one of the most recent reports of it where it's happening. And I guess the take-home lesson for us is that psychosomatic illness, the ability of our minds to convince ourselves that we are ill, or the ability of our minds to convince ourselves that we are well, is marked. And so if we can think about positive things, think about what it feels like to feel good, even when we're dealing with chronic problems, it actually does have an effect on our symptoms. It may not change the disease, but it certainly changes how we feel about it, either for the good or, as in this story, for the worse.
Now, the same thing goes when you got a pain and you think you have an ulcer or you think you have cancer or something. You go to the doctor says, no, you got a little bit of gas and that's it. And you go home, you feel 20 times better and the pain doesn't bother you anymore. And it happens to everybody. By the same token, somebody who feels great, who goes to the doctor who says to you, well, your blood pressure's a little high, will go home feeling all of a sudden like they're about to have a stroke.
Yeah. Sometimes the best medicine of any is a good diagnosis. So people at least know what they're concerned about and stop worrying
and know that
so
nothing's wrong. Perhaps.
Exactly.
Yeah. Dr. James Kyle.
We will use this ability for the good, all right?
Bring more of those in. I like that.
I'll keep
really weird, strange medical things that happen.
We love weird things.
We love weird things.
It's 7:54.
And we're going to go up to Rod Luck. He is at the Olympic Training Center down in Otay Mesa. The visitor center is now open, and trials are actually beginning today, right, Rod?
Well, yeah, they have a lot of guys on the bubble and gals trying to get into the trials still. Boy, big day of competition, but it'll continue all weekend long. The first ever Olympic trials here at Chula Vista, folks. We're coming back in a moment. You see a kayaker there getting right out of his boat. He was out in the water working out. How's the water out there? Huh?
Oh, it's a little choppy this morning, but it should smooth out a little later.
Good luck to you. We're coming back in a minute. The KUSI Morning News hits the water on the Otay Lakes. Keep it here, Bubba.
There are a lot of laughs and so much more in store for you on the next Live with Regis and Kathy Lee. Coming up, he's the latest Saturday Night Live star to leap to the big screen.
Excuse me, we're trying to make a movie here.
Find out why funny guy Rob Schneider is hitting the high seas with Kelsey Grammer. Then, find out everything you need to know about the Oscars from Hollywood reporter Claudia Cohen on the next Live.
Today at 9, followed by Montel Williams and Donahue on KUSI.
I'll tell you, there's nothing more beautiful than to be out on the Otay Lakes, to either see a fisherman or a kayaker or a canoeist. And today it's kayaking and canoeing, and it's all weekend long, folks, because the first Olympic trial has come to this area. Reg Hatch from Australia is our coach. Well, you know, I've talked to you many times. We've struck up a pretty good relationship here. I've asked you this question before, but for people that don't know you, what's an Australian doing coaching the American canoe and kayakers?
I was pretty lucky, Rod. The American Canoe Association searched the world to find someone of my capacity. The first 50 people turned them down, and I accepted the job, so it was pretty good.
What's your background?
My background, born and bred Australian. Traveled the world on a few occasions with this sport. Basically now I'm here working full-time for the U.S. Olympic Committee and the United States Canoe and Kayak team to help us win medals in Atlanta and Sydney, and we'll do that.
Are we good? Do we have the talent for it?
We're there. I mean, we're there. We're up there with the best, yeah.
Well, I see out here as we look out here this morning, some people warming up, getting ready, because there are some that probably didn't sleep last night. Tell us why.
Bit of sleeplessness, I guess. The people here today are basically vying for an opportunity to get onto the team.
They have to, in other words, qualify to get into the qualifications, though.
That's right. This is what they call the last chance race. If they make it today, they get into the trials tomorrow, and then they have an opportunity to race for the Olympic team. If they don't make it today, they don't get there.
And now I look at the course here. You have it laid out interesting. We have a lot of lanes. I see a lot of little buoys in the water, whatever. Explain how it's done out here on the water.
We've got 9 lanes, 9 meters wide each lane. The athletes are raced down the middle of the lane, a bit like Carl Lewis in the 100-meter sprint. The first across the line wins. There's no judging, nothing like that. It's an objective sport, and it's very, very good from that point of view.
I watch them work. Now, this is a female out here, a lot of women out here, which is really interesting. Good to see you got some strong women.
We got some of the best women, actually. We had 4 ladies, I think, that can win medals for us at Atlanta, and they'll do very well. They're very talented.
All right, now back up here, I see there's a tandem going here. What do we have that? Tell us what that is. That's another, two, one of them is a local woman out there.
Yeah, they're double kayaks. Most of our women are local women. They all live here at the Olympic Training Center. They're all members of San Diego, and they all love it here. I mean, it's great. We've got great food, great quality services from the point of view of medicine and from the point of view of sleeping quarters. They're pretty well looked after.
Reg, is there any one thing that you need to make this the best yet as far as our teams go? Do you have the talent? Do you have all the resources? Are you happy?
Absolutely. There's nothing I think we need. I don't think there's anything we need here that we haven't already got. We're blessed. Truly, we're blessed. You've only got to look around here and you'll see the quality of the athletes. You'll see the quality of the course. It's magnificent, Rod. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you got to bring us some medals now. I don't want you coming back. I want you going back to Melbourne.
You're right. I'd like to stay here.
And we want you to stay here. Reg Hatch, you're a good guy. And I know you told me I owe you a Foster's, and I promise I'll bring a bunch of them out if you bring us some medals. How's that?
Sounds good luck there. Sounds good to me.
All right. I'll tell you what, it's so much fun to be out here again with our future Olympians. As the Olympic trials begin for canoe and kayak, you can come out free of charge. It's going to happen today as far as qualifying to get into the qualifications. It'll happen all weekend long through Monday, so come out. It's free. We're out in Chula Vista again. Take 805 south, take the Telegraph Road exit, go 8 miles, follow the signs, and you are here. It's free. See the new visitor center. We're going to come back in a while. I'm going to be with the men. Yeah, the men field hockey players. Outstanding. And you saw it nowhere else in San Diego except on KUSI's Morning News.
You're watching KUSI TV, Cable 9, Channel 51, San Diego. And now, complete news, traffic, weather, health and fitness reports, finance and business updates, and entertainment news. This is the KUSI Morning News.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the 8 o'clock hour of the KUSI Morning News. I'm Paul Bloom.
I'm Laura Buxton, and here with the top stories of the day is Nancy Pender. Nancy.
Thank you, Lauren Paul. Reports of gunfire brought San Diego police to Mission Gorge last night, but police say the noises were caused by crudely made explosives in soda bottles. Residents had reported gunshots in the area of Mission Gorge Road and Marjoram Avenue at about 9 p.m. When officers got there, they heard the explosions, too. They searched the area and didn't find any suspects, but they did find the source of the noises. Someone had set off a series of bombs fashioned from plastic soda bottles. Police called in the bomb squad because some of the devices were still ready to explode. An 11-year-old boy who donned a monk's robe before going on a shooting spree Tuesday is scheduled to appear in juvenile court this morning. He faces charges ranging from robbery to attempted murder. His name isn't being released because he's a juvenile. Why he started shooting still isn't clear. Parents may soon have greater control over the amount of sex and violence their children are exposed to on TV. President Clinton and TV executives meet today at the White House. They're expected to announce a rating system that would evaluate all 700,000 hours of material aired each year. The president also wants all broadcasters to air educational programs at least 3 hours a week for kids. Broadcasters oppose that requirement. The president also supports the V-chip. It's a computer chip that allows parents to block out whatever programming they choose. A civil suit against the Jenny Jones Show could cost millions in damages, but even more in lost advertising for the program. Joan McFarlane explains why advertisers are more concerned about a show's image than how many people are watching it.
The sensational topics that attract viewers to tabloid talk shows may lead to huge financial losses for those talk shows, as both advertisers and the courts consider targeting the programs.
Your Honor, calling Amateur versus Schmidt.
A Michigan judge paved the way Wednesday for a wrongful death suit against the Jenny Jones Show.
The bottom line in this case is that if the defendants did, in fact, orchestrate the alleged inflammatory situation, they may be held liable.
The suit stems from a Jenny Jones show that included segments on same-sex admirers. But Jonathan Schmitz, who now faces trial for murdering Scott Amador, says he was told it was a show about secret admirers. Schmitz says he was humiliated when his admirer turned out to be a man, Scott Amador. 3 days later, Schmitz says he grew angrier when he thought about the nationwide humiliation that would follow when the show aired. Frank Amador says his brother would still be alive if the Jenny Jones Show had been honest.
It was obvious. You watch these shows, you know somebody's going to get hurt. Just happened to be my brother that time.
Attorneys for the Jenny Jones Show tried to get the suit dismissed by claiming the show was protected under the First Amendment. But the judge said it was a case about wrongful death, not free speech.
I don't think he's right. Shock would probably be a wrong term. The case law just doesn't support him.
The Amador's attorney says the show producers knew Schmitz wanted nothing to do with meeting an admirer of the same sex, and that they purposely set him up.
If Jenny Jones wants to keep doing it, they do it at their peril. That's what Judge Snell said. You operate now from here on in at your peril, because if you do it and you create the tragedy that has befallen the Amador family, you can be hit with what's called a civil fine, in effect, money damage.
And it's the danger of losing money that gets producers' attention. Media experts say the civil suit against the Jenny Jones Show is already having an influence on talk shows. Economics is what is driving that change because advertisers are no longer just concerned about ratings, they're concerned about image. Laura Mosley says advertisers are beginning to see the dangers of having their products associated with a sensational show.
Advertisers want positive environments. That's all they ask. Place the product where it's positive. The benefits from that is to look at our product positively.
Mosley says the Jenny Jones lawsuit should serve as a wake-up call to tabloid talk shows and the television industry as a whole. Joan McFarlane for CNN, Pontiac, Michigan.
Certainly causing a lot of programs like that to reevaluate their programming and what type of
They're
subject matter.
it. I mean, you look at what Oprah's done. She's gone to far more benign, kind of informative issues, and her ratings haven't suffered that much.
No, not that much. They have a little bit, but not that much.
And you know what we're waiting to see is nobody yet has done a talk show with all these parties involved. Getting Jenny Jones and the Amador family to sit up there and have Donahue or Oprah moderate it, that would make a great talk show.
It ain't going to happen.
No, it won't happen.
Talk to her agent. Talk to their agents.
Yeah.
Okay,
you're welcome.
Talk about tabloid fodder. This is what's going on now. It was a fairy tale romance like 15 years ago, but there will be no happily ever after for Britain's Prince Charles and Princess Diana, at least not with them together.
I'm tempted to say, Diana has announced that she's now ready to divorce the heir to the British throne. How much will it all cost? Margaret Lowry has more.
The Princess of Wales took her time replying to the Queen's December command to end her marriage to Prince Charles. Reports said Princess Diana had played hardball in the negotiations from the start, holding out for involvement in decisions regarding her children, fighting to stay at Kensington Palace, already her official residence, and retaining her title. Experts say that is key in any divorce settlement.
It is for somebody in a royal family of immense importance to keep HRH and certainly to keep the title of princess.
Another thing the 34-year-old princess has reportedly insisted on, a continuing public role.
She's tried to link the divorce with the international ambassador role, And what she's doing, Diane's holding that the divorce as a carrot in front of the royal household. I will agree to a divorce if you will sort out this public profile role for me.
Buckingham Palace did not mention what, if anything, was agreed in that capacity. In any case, Diana has set her own public agenda recently. An unofficial high-profile trip to Pakistan caused controversy just last week. But it was this tell-all TV interview 3 months ago that may have been the final straw for Buckingham Palace. She talked frankly about the breakdown of her marriage, admitting she had committed adultery, as well as Prince Charles. She also said she didn't want a divorce. But royal watchers say the interview itself prompted Queen Elizabeth to urge them to finalize their split. Buckingham Palace did not mention any financial settlement, perhaps because it's considered private, or perhaps because it hasn't been settled. Attorneys for Princess Diana would only say that she had made the decision to divorce on her own, and with great sadness. Margaret Lowry, CNN, London.
Okay, this is the cover of USA Today. What does it say? Diana says she'll chuck her prince, a little polo term.
Chuck her prince.
Because Chuck Charles plays a lot of polo. But here's in the fine lines here. She says, Diana says, she'll remain Princess of Wales. Buckingham Palace says, we'll talk about it. Diana says Kensington Palace will be her home. Buckingham Palace says, we'll talk about it. And money, Diana says a lot, and Buckingham Palace says, we'll talk about it. And that's about as factual as we're going to get today.
Okay, so she still gets to be called princess. They give her an Amway dealership someplace in the Midwest, and she's off the hook. Boom.
Cynthia, Lady Cynthia Heath
Lady
Kerrigan.
Cynthia?
You don't need the title because you are one.
Oh, well, thank you for that. And actually, she could be that way, too. I mean, she has shown some class. Just keep it up, Diana. That's all she needs.
That's right.
She'll get plenty of money. Yeah. Southbound on 5, still heavy on down the coastline from Birmingham, heading on down to Solana Beach and Del Mar. And all the way down to the Split, it's still a busy ride on the coastline. Southbound on 15 is getting better rather quickly now, right around Ted Williams Parkway, and then heading through the Poway area. It's running a little bit tight. Traveling out of the East County, we've had a problem through La Mesa on the west side of Interstate 8. It's still real slow from El Cajon Boulevard in La Mesa, heading on out past San Diego State University. An accident down around Waring Road is getting the blame for this. And in North Park, I still see 20s northbound on 805 from 15 to El Cajon Boulevard. Cynthia Heath Kerrigan with their watch traffic on the KUSI Morning News.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you, Cynthia. Didn't you think, though, when you saw that wedding so many years, 11 years ago, didn't you think you saw that wedding? It's like you go to people's weddings when they really go all out and they have the white horses and the stuff and all that. You think to yourself, you know, are they overdoing this? Is this going to last?
Yeah, is it really love?
Did you wonder if Charles and Di were really going to last?
No, most women were caught up in the fairy tale of it all. She looks so beautiful. They'll be so happy.
See, now that's pardon the expression, chick stuff. Now we move on to some guy stuff here. Mark Calkins is going to be here. Now seriously, this is a guy who, along with 3 other people, piloted a Learjet to a new world's record. Wow. We'll ask him how he did it, who did it, and why they even set out to do it. Next.
Also, we're going to have Grammy news. Who won them? Well, one of the big winners there was Seal. We'll tell you about the 2 awards he won and all the others that were handed out last night. Stay with us.
Receiving an award for Songwriter of the Year is the one I'm probably most happy with, but Record of the Year isn't too bad either.
On the next Montel Williams show, race relations. It's an issue woven into the fabric of America.
Rather than coming together, this nation has been falling apart.
For all the healing, deep wounds remain.
Someone's setting black churches on fire again in this country.
Montel is joined by Harvard's Dr. Alan Poussant for an honest look at racism in the 90s.
The dominant racism in America has to do with white supremacy.
America in black and white on the next Montel.
Today at 10, followed by Donahue on KUSI.
When we broke our first sales record, we were pleased.
A bloom with great tips and ideas. Our special spring gardening guide shows you how to bring backbone to your garden with walls, fountains, and fences. Also in the March issue of San Diego Home Garden Lifestyles, available now at a special low subscription rate of $14, we show you how to build definition into your garden with texture and color. How to plan outdoor spaces for people and plants, and where to find perfect garden furniture and accessories. This month's San Diego Home Garden Lifestyles also features the cool blue lure of pools and why more and more homeowners are making pools a top priority. Stylish plates and teapots are even blossoming in flower-carved antique cupboards. It's all in the March issue of San Diego Home Garden Lifestyles, San Diego's finest magazine, on your newsstands now. or call 800-417-8100 to subscribe and have the March issue sent to you right away. That's 1-800-417-8100 for 12 issues of San Diego Home Garden Lifestyles. KUSI Weather is brought to you by Air Touch.
All right, I need help on that one, Wes. Is that the Cowicels? You can talk to me here. You can tell me. Who is that? Cowicels? No. Fifth Dimension. That's who I think it is. The Up and Away group. Hey, beautiful, beautiful Harbor Drive here. I'll step out of the way and tell you what the temperature is. We went from 45, our low, we're at 50 right now. The humidity has dropped. The temperature goes up and the humidity's dropped. Isn't that amazing? 59% relative humidity. The winds are west at 3 on this beautiful Thursday, leap day of leap year 1996. Barometer going up at 30.20. 62 for a high along our beautiful San Diego coast today. Inland 66 to 68. Plenty of sunshine for everyone. Don't be a sunshine hog. Share it with your neighbor. 42 degrees, 46 degrees in the mountains. This is pretty liberal out there in the mountains as far as temperature goes. 70 degrees in the desert. It's going to be a nice day. Around the county, you pick out where you're going to be, and I'll try to give you our foresight, what we're trying to think about here. Carlsbad, 63, 62 Coronado, Lindbergh's Field, 62, 64 at El Cajon, and then 65 in Escondido. Poway, 66, a beautiful, beautiful afternoon in Poway. 61 in Vista with a mixed cloud or two. La Jolla, 59, closer to the ocean there. Santee, 63, Mount Laguna, 42, Ramona, 64 degrees. La Mesa, 64, San Ysidro, 62, Solana Beach, 62, 61 in Oceanside, 64 in San Marcos, a couple of 65s up at Fallbrook and Borrego Springs, Del Mar, Tierra Santa, and Miramar at 64 to 66 degrees. Alpine, 63, Chula Vista, 62. It's going to be great for us. Traveling up to Santa Barbara, finally see a little bit less rain and some clouds in Santa Barbara. 63 for a high, 43 up at Big Bear. Don't let that scare you, though. You can get plenty of skiing up in the Big Bear and Snow Summit in that area. 66 degrees San Felipe, 66 at Tucson, 42 for a high at Flagstaff after single digits this morning, and Lake Havasu, 56 degrees. The big picture shows you that we've got kind of a channel here between this area of moisture that's traveled on to Texas. We're right in this area. We've got moisture coming down the coast, but this tropical region is going to be pushing through. High pressure is going to build in, and I think it's going to be a nice one. We'll have a good Thursday, have a good Friday. And Mr. Jetstream here shows you it comes off the Pacific, goes south of us across Baja, goes north. Heavy, windy conditions we saw. We'll see some of that in a second up in Oregon and Washington as the storm system goes into the northeast, northwest. It comes down, and it's going to go through the northeast. Big low pressure cell is going to build. Watch it this weekend. It could be rough in the northeastern United States. Another storm system is building. The last low pressure is off on the coast right now, off the Atlantic coast, but this is building in here. It could be problems as it twirls and whirls up the eastern coast. For us here in Southern California, though, I think it's going to be very, very nice. This is what it looked like if you were going down the part of the Sierra Nevada mountains yesterday. You were driving, you were seeing how beautiful the weather was. The snow continues there. They were having some fun. This young lady on her saucer. Not so much fun where the winds were knocking over 80 and 100-foot trees up in Oregon with the heavy storms that went through there, debris flying around, causing some problems and damage to homes, vehicles, someplace that's kind of scary at this time with all the high winds. Our 5 days goes like this for Thursday through Monday. Thursday being today up to 65 to 66, Friday 65 to 66, Saturday 66, Sunday 68 degrees. Your weekend looks very good.